Welcome to the walkthrough.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Week 4 edition of the walkthrough. I'm your host, the authentic one, Mr. Matty Kiwoom, and I'm joined, of course, by the host of America's Game, amongst a bunch of shows here on South Harmon network of shows, my man Eric Vanek. Eric, what's up, dog?
What's going on, Matty? Interesting week 4 coming up after one of the most craziest weeks I could remember in football in a long time, man. Just punt return touchdowns, defensive touchdowns, blocked field goals. It was crazy.
I mean, there was multiple blocked field goals for touchdowns. There was 6 total special team defense touchdowns. We had the Vikings defense go for 30-something fantasy points in some leagues. I mean, it was wackadoodle-doo. There was injuries, of course, so there's a lot to get into when we're talking about Week 4 with the preview. And, of course, on the walkthrough, Eric and I are going through every single game from the Week 4 slate. Real quick, before we get into game number 1 on Sunday, I just wanted to say on Thursday Night Football, by the time you're hearing this, maybe the game's already over. But what I will say this, on Sleeper in my home league, JSN's projected about 18 points. Okay, I tweeted this as well. If he scores above that, I am buying a JSN Seahawks jersey tonight.
Nice.
Tonight. So I just want to put that out there in the ether. Hold me accountable, people. If he goes over 18 fantasy points in PPR, we're getting that jersey, baby. We're getting that jersey.
Are we going with the new jerseys? Or are we going with the old school retro green one? Or which one are we doing? Or blue one?
That is going to be the decision I have to make as I see the fantasy points hopefully climbing up. Because at that point, I'll have to make a decision because they're all fire. I mean, you can get the white, like even the white jersey now, fire. The blue jersey at home, fire. The 90s retro blue, fire. Lime green, fire. I mean, you can't go wrong, especially with the JSN. You get the Smith and Jigba on the back. I mean, the numbers look fire. 11 looks fire. It's going to be a fire jersey.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. Definitely.
Everyone out there, fingers crossed the JSN goes off so I can get myself a new little top here to go with the DJ Moore when I'm rocking.
Yes.
All right, let's get into the games, my friend. Let's start across the pond. First Europe game on the 2025 season. The Minnesota Vikings, they're 2-1, and they head to play the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are also 2-1 in Dublin, Ireland. The Vikings are giving up 2.5 points as technically road favorites. Over under 40.5, one of the lowest on the slates. Minus 142 for the Vikings, plus 120 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's start with the Vikings. Let's just say they were somehow available in your redraft league. Can they repeat? Is this defense a long-term thing? Are we going to buy into Brian Flores, or are we just going to stream them up until their bye? Because after their bye, I mean, you got the Lions on deck, the Ravens on deck, the Eagles on deck. They got good offenses after the bye. Are we going to ride out this defense in our dinosaur leagues?
Yeah, I have them in a few. I'm definitely going to ride them out. Like, Brian Flores is one of the best coordinators. It don't matter if he's going up against a veteran quarterback or a rookie quarterback. Like, he's going to have a scheme ready to go for all those guys. So, yeah, I think they're a top 5 defense the rest of the way for me.
Quarterback, still going to be Carson Wentz. What does that mean for this offense? Obviously, we don't even have to bring up his name. Jordan Mason proved his weight in goal. I mean, he was so good in his first week as the bell cow for Minnesota. So he's plug and play until Aaron Jones comes back. But what are we doing with the pass catchers? T.J. Hawkins had a good game. Justin Jefferson underperformed again. Enter Jordan Addison. He's back this week. So what are we doing with the pass catchers on the Minnesota Vikings?
I have a little more faith that it's going to be pretty decent this week. If it was McCarthy, who hasn't really, couldn't even support one guy, let alone, 2 or 3. But with Wentz, I think he can support maybe 2 of these guys. It's tough to play Addison the first game off, but at least it's not off an injury, so you're not worried about that. But I do like Wentz in this game. Like, Pittsburgh's defense hasn't been very good this year, and that kind of low over kind of makes me want to hit the over this week for sure. I think they're going to at least put up, 24, 27 points on their own. So, yeah, I like the over this week.
I like the over as well. You don't get it's the minus 115 side of things, but I don't care. I think if you're going to throw a parlay down this weekend, there's some interesting options to do so. This feels to me like a good bet for it to go over 40.5. I mean, just Jordan Mason. I mean, Jordan Mason can get to a touchdown. All of a sudden, DK jumps over somebody. I mean, there's enough playmakers on this field in Dublin that you can expect some plays to be made. So I'm with you on kind of being a little bit more hesitant to play Jordan Addison. I got a wide receiver 49 this week, so I got him in the Christian Kirk, Darnell Mooney, Rashid Shaheed range, so flex at best. Justin Jefferson still going to the well, top 12. He's just too talented. But let me ask you one last thing before we move on. TJ Hawkinson had his best game yet in 2025 with Carson Wentz. Is this a player that we're going to go back to, fade a little bit? Where do you kind of have him this week?
I'm going to go back to him. I put him in over Juwan Johnson in a few leagues this week. I think last week I reversed it. I put Johnson in over Hawkinson, and it backfired a little bit. I mean, it wasn't like Johnson had a terrible game or anything.
Right, he's pretty good.
But yeah, I mean, who on the Steelers is going to be able to cover him? Like, their linebackers aren't great. Their safeties aren't great. Like, I think this is a good get-right spot for TJ Hawkinson. I believe the Steelers are one of the worst against tight ends in the league.
They're not good against tight ends. They're also really not good as like a secondary unit. Their passing offense or passing defense as a whole is not that great. They do get after the quarterback. Obviously, with T.J. Watt and company, they do get after the quarterback a bit. But I feel like with Kevin O'Connell, with his ability to kind of scheme things open and make it easier for Wentz in the offense, I think two things I love what you said. We're hammering the over, and we're going to go back to the Hawkinson well. On the Pittsburgh side of things, though, it doesn't really. I'm still not really excited playing Aaron Rodgers, even in my super flex leagues. DK's been saved by touchdowns, so let's start there. Like, are you worried about DK and his lack of true volume and production 3 games in?
Yeah, I figured he would be getting a lot more targets and a lot more catches than he's been getting. Like, I figured this would be a lock for like 6 to 7 catches weekly. They literally have nobody else, but they're kind of spreading the ball around. They're using 3 tight ends. They're getting Calvin Austin involved, and that's really it for the receivers, honestly. Jalen Warren's getting catches. Kenny Gainwell's getting catches. So, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in DK so far. I figured it would be a lot better than this, but I think it's going to get better at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this week, though.
I will say this about DK in my redraft leagues. I am looking to trade him. I think he's a great second piece. You take maybe your overperforming RB3 and DK and tier up at receiver. Something like that seems like it's in the cards because the numbers are there. They look at the player card. They see double digits. They see, 2 touchdowns. It looks like decent production on the surface, but when you kind of dig a little deeper, I don't know if it's going to be there all year.
In one of my redraft leagues this week, it's a home league, so the guys that I'm playing with are very novice. They're not all into it. Somebody dropped DK Metcalf. They dropped DK Metcalf. I picked him up, and I had Butte on my roster, so I dropped Booty and picked up Metcalf.
Yeah, if someone's gonna drop him, you got to pick him
for
up.
sure.
It hasn't been that bad. And then real quick, give me your few sentences on Jalen Warren. He's been fantastic in terms of volume. The volume he's getting is true bell cow type shite. I mean, we're talking about 10 catches over the last 2 games type stuff. He's currently a top 20 running back, coming in at number 14 on the year. Are we just kind of play him as a lock solid RB2 right now?
Absolutely. Yep, he's a rock solid RB2 until he's not anymore. Like, I don't see it changing anytime soon. Like, they're not even playing Caleb. Gainwell comes in and spells him here and there, but it's not enough to take Warren out of RB2 status.
Next game we're going to talk about is the Battle of the NFC Foes, a game that we had circled on the calendar for an early, real fun game, but I don't know if it's going to be that after some recent unfoldings. But the 2-1 Washington Commanders go down to the ATL to take on the Falcons. Falcons getting 1.5 as home underdogs, over under 45.5. Falcons, a little bit of juice, plus 105. Commanders, minus 125. Let's start with the Commander side of things. Doesn't seem, I'm not going to be too optimistic about Jaden Daniels. There was an issue with the brace. He doesn't want to play with the brace, but it might not be his decision. It might not matter. So what are we thinking about the Commanders offense with Daniels on the field and without?
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping he plays. I need him this week. It sounds like he did some drills and stuff today and all that. So Tomorrow will be the sign. Is it limited? Then I'm kind of iffy about it. If it's a full practice, I'm ready to go. He's good to go for me. So, I mean, with Mariota in the offense still played pretty decent last week. It wasn't
Not bad.
bad at all. So, Krosky Merritt, we're gonna have to look out for. He didn't really practice today, so he might miss this week. So it could be Chris Rodriguez and McNichols that we're gonna focus on this week for the Commanders' running backs. But and then McLaurin might miss too. So that's another one. So maybe kind of look at the under in this one a little bit.
Yeah, 45.5 is a pretty sturdy over-under. It feels like they're kind of mixed bag as in terms of what the DraftKings Sportsbook thinks is going to happen with Jane Daniels because the over-under kind of suggests that he's going to play. But I think when you look at the money line, minus 125, plus 105, that kind of suggests they're iffy about him playing. I feel like they would be a minus 250 given how the Falcons have played this season, going 1-2 so far. But you bring up JCM being, a DNP Wednesday and now Thursday. In your shallow leagues, go make sure Chris Rodriguez is picked up. And in your super deep leagues, go pick up Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards would be the next guy into the active roster. Would he get touches? I don't know. But we've just seen guys get elevated and become, fantasy relevant so quickly that if you have the deep bench or your deep league where this type of thing is, prevalent, make sure you're stashing Donovan Edwards too, especially if Bill misses on Friday. Pass catching Debo, you're gonna fire up Debo. He's been so good. Zach Ertz, he's been kind of that zero tight end build hero so far. But I want to ask you about Luke McCaffrey, Christian's younger brother, caught a touchdown last week with Marcus Mariota. If there is no Terry McLaurin, and there's a team that's kind of reeling with a bunch of injuries, maybe they lost CeeDee Lamb last week and others, is Luke McCaffrey someone you might be kind of inserting into that flex?
I'm gonna probably say no. I don't trust it. Like, I don't know if Noah Brown's gonna play. I haven't really checked in on his status. Jalen Lane's still there too. I just don't see Mariota as that guy that is gonna fire the ball in there, 40 times in this game. So I'm gonna probably lean no. But it is a revenge game for Mariota. I just thought about that.
Oh, good one. Yeah, I didn't even realize that.
He hates Atlanta.
He
They
does.
benched his ass.
Yeah, he was pretty pissed about that. That's a good call. Revenge in an indoor game could be an old school Mariota game. Mariota again, another streamable option if he suits up again. On the Falcon side of things, Bijan, Drake London, signed, seal, delivered. Nothing to talk about there. I know it hasn't been great for Drake London, but ain't nobody benching him. He's going to have that big game. He's just too talented. But I want to talk to you about the quarterback and the tight end. Kyle Pitts, Michael Penix. Where do you have Penix? Is he even a streaming-worthy quarterback for you this week in redraft? And then talk to me about Pitts.
Yeah, it's been brutal for Penix the last 2 weeks. I hope he gets it back on track. There's probably some other guys I'd rather stream over him, but I don't think it's a terrible one. Like, it's at home, so I like that. Indoors, fast track, all that kind of stuff. So if you have to start Penix, I don't mind it. Like, if you don't want to play Jake Browning because you picked up, you lost Burrow or whatever, like something like that. I wouldn't mind it. And then with Kyle Pitts, I'm just gonna keep playing him, man. Like, he's getting the passing work there, and he's been pretty solid this year. Like, one of his best starts of his season since his rookie year. So, yeah, I'm gonna still play Pitts if I got him.
Yeah, I got him as a top 12 play. I think that he's a sneaky, some good upside for double digits, maybe a touchdown in this game. So I like Kyle Pitts. All right, before I move on to the next game, actually, we got something in the chat. And again, we thank you guys so much for tuning in with us every Thursday night. If you got a question, roster-wise, trade-wise, start-sit, don't matter. We're walking through every game, so if you got a question, we're here to help you. Go ahead and leave it in the chat. And, of course, if you want to get to the tippy top of the list and make sure we answer it ASAP, throw in a little super chat. We'll make it happen. CJ, trade away Garrett Wilson for Rice. He's 3-0. He's got a ton of good receivers. Are you trading away Garrett Wilson for Rashee Rice?
I mean, it's the same tier wide receiver for me. Just depends on kind of what quarterback you trust. I would probably rather trust Mahomes over Fields. If you can get it done, I don't mind it. Like, if I just kind of think like this trade could be available maybe in 2 weeks still, or maybe the third week. Use Garrett Wilson while you got him. Don't just trade him away. Maybe wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you could get more. Now, if he gives you Rice plus, I'm in. And other than that,
Right,
though,
yeah.
I'm not really doing it. Garrett Wilson, our worries have, I know it's early in the season, but we can't really be worried about the things that we were worried about in the offseason. 2 20-point games with 2 different quarterbacks. The matchups really haven't been necessarily the biggest cupcakes, the biggest layups, but he's been able to thrive. He's getting the volume. His expected fantasy points are there. It seems like the underlying metrics are checking out. So, CJ, I'm not giving up Garrett Wilson for Rashee Rice straight up. And if I am, I'm definitely playing hardball the next week. Time's on your side.
Yeah.
Rashi ain't coming back for another couple weeks, and then what does it look like when it comes back? Xavier Worthy's going to be back on the field. There are more question marks, and we've had a lot of things answered for Garrett Wilson. So unless you're getting a nice kicker, I might just keep Garrett.
Yeah.
Any news on CeeDee Lamb's injury? And then, Eric, talk about the value gap between him and Puka Nacua on a contender.
So I haven't seen anything on CD. I would doubt he plays this week. The last I saw was like 2 to 4 weeks. They're kind of hoping it's more on the 2 to 3 side. And between him and Puka on a contender, man, Puka's right up there, man. Like, he is really good. My only question is, the Rams have 2 first-round picks next year. If they're going to probably be looking at one of the quarterbacks, I would assume. Does that change Puka if he's got a rookie quarterback and Stafford retires? That's my only thing that I'm thinking about there. But I think they're pretty close to the same tier. Like, obviously, I have CD as a tier 1 wide receiver. I had Puka right below that, but it is damn close. I think just thinking about it in a long-term dynasty sense, like, you got to think, like, man, is Puka with a rookie quarterback, is that going to still mean he's going to get this massive target share that he's getting on all these targets?
Yeah, if you can move CD right now for Puka, I'm just doing it. You're getting the advance in terms of health. You're getting the fantasy points right now. So if you're contending, you'll take that. You'll take the wins now. And when you just look at Puka, pound for pound, there are definitely more question marks. You're right, Eric, in terms of the next 2 or 3 years. Right now, I mean, the fantasy points are silly. He hasn't put up a true dud, like a game under double digits, since week 9 last year. I mean, he is just an absolute heater of epic proportions. This year, he's been an absolute nuke in fantasy. One of the best picks at the first, round 1-2 turn. 23 points, 28 points, 23 points again. I mean, he's just been an absolute stud. So for me, the value, it's super close. And if I'm a contender, then that means you don't want to play around. You don't want to lose a couple now that you shouldn't lose. Get the player, get the points, and then deal with it later on. Just deal with it because I don't think you'll see a big enough spread, over the next 18 months where you're like, shit, this sucks. I think you'll be into it with Puka.
Yep, good call.
All right, next game we're going to talk about. The New Orleans Saints are winless, but they head to Buffalo to take on the Bills, who are undefeated. Biggest spread of the game, 15.5 points for the Saints. This is some college football shite. 47.5 over-unders, the number we like to see in this money line, was comical. I had to rub my eyes. Plus 800 for the Saints. Minus 1350 for the Bills. Real quick on the Saints. Give me your quick overview. Obviously, we're not really caring about anything other than Kamara, Olave, and Juwan Johnson. But go ahead and talk about the offense. If you want to talk about Shaheed too, let's talk about him.
Yeah, well, I have a little breaking news here for us on this game. The Saints are going to be 0-4 after this game.
Breaking news.
Yeah, I mean, Olave, Juwan Johnson, Kamara, probably the only guys I want to play. I mean, you could probably play Shaheed too. I don't think Shaheed's a terrible flex play, but Olave I'm definitely playing. Juwan Johnson is, probably a lock in your lineup unless you got another tight end that's still doing pretty good. And then I would expect the Saints, the Vegas is telling you, the Bills are going to be up. The Saints are going to have to throw to get back into this game or keep ahead, and I would expect a lot of dump-offs to Kamara then. So I like Kamara this week too, is probably a RB1 for us this week, just hoping he gets the PPR scam, gets us 7 for 80 yards, just catching the ball.
Yeah, I completely agree. Vegas is telling us catch-up mode, so you want the pass catchers that you could trust. If you're in, kind of in some trouble, Shaheed is that, let's see if we can get a garbage time touchdown deep type of play. But Olave, you're going to play him. You're going to play with confidence. 13, 10, 14 targets on the year. That's insane.
Yeah.
He has the most targets on the season in the NFL. Juwan Johnson's been there, and I know it wasn't great for Kamara last week, and they were blown out early. So that kind of makes me nervous in terms of the Kamara thing, but I'm still okay with it. I think the one catch last week is the anomaly. That's the outside of the valley. He's always better for that, and I think he will be this week too.
Yeah.
So I got him. I don't know if he's quite RB1 status for me, but I definitely have him as a top 20. If I have him on my roster, he's my running back too. He's in my lineup. I'm not worried about it.
Yep.
Buffalo Bills, though, Josh Allen, nuke game. So what does that mean for the rest of the clan? We're obviously playing James Cook. He's been unreal. But what about the Shakir versus Coleman? Dalton Kincaid's been pretty good this year. What are we doing with his pass catchers?
Yeah, this kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Jets game in week 2. Like they might just put up a ton of points and you just don't know who's going to get it. Like the receivers just didn't do anything in that game. Like Keon Coleman was like 3 for 26 and stuff. So it's like one of the wide receivers could definitely get there if they get to it. I just don't know which one it's going to be. So it's kind of hard to trust playing them. James Cook's a definitely smash RB1 for me this week.
Yep.
Dalton Kincaid has been damn good this year too. So I would probably say he's probably in your starting lineup too. Like I have in one of my home leagues a decision. Would you go Kincaid or Njoku?
I would go with Kincaid.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm leaning to. So, yeah, that's what I got for the Bills. I mean, you can play Keon Coleman, you can play Shakir. I just don't necessarily trust it like that they have to like get you a touchdown and I don't see them having to throw a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those things where if you play the receivers, you're gonna be white knuckling it for the first 2 quarters, for the first half, maybe 2.5, because if it just probably won't come late is my point. So if you're sitting there on a dud game from Khalil Shakir, and we're creeping into minute 2, minute 3, minute 4 of the second half, and he's quite you imagine the blowout is in, the route is in, and we're already starting to pack things up by the mid third quarter. So I don't know about volume there. So I guess with that being said, without my certainty of volume, go with the more upside guy and go with Keon Coleman. But of the pass catchers, I think I'm most confident in Kincaid producing out of the tight end position than the receivers, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, next game we're going to talk about the 1-2 Cleveland Browns. Man, their schedule does not get easier yet.
No.
Go to Detroit to take on the 2-1 Motor City Kitties. Lions are giving 10 points as home favorites, 44.5 over/under. Money line, Cleveland Browns plus 390 and the Lions minus 520 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's start with the Cleveland Browns side of things. Flacco's throwing the ball a ton, but he has not been good for fantasy. But who was good for fantasy last week was returning rookie Quinshon Judkins in his true first game of full-time action, I'd call it, because the week before was kind of part-time.
Yeah.
So are we just playing Quinshon all day, every day? Is Quinshon just a staple in our starting lineups now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's the man. Like I don't even know if another running back even carried the ball last week. Like they're not even really playing Samson at all. Jerome Ford's getting in there, but yeah, it's the Judkins show now. He's the bell cow, number 1. Give him the ball. So yeah, he's definitely in my lineups this week. Flacco struggled a little bit, but I think that a lot of it has to do with the offensive line. They lost their left tackle, DeLon Jones, for the year, so they're kind of playing musical chairs there at left tackle, which isn't great. But the other guys have been okay, not that great. But I think in this game they're probably going to have to throw a little bit again, so I do like the pass catchers. And Njoku and Fannin, I think, are solid. Judy's been very disappointing to me this year. Like I figured a veteran receiver like him would have a chemistry going with Flacco already, but he hasn't. Tillman's decent. And I kind of like the points in this game. Like I see the Browns keeping this close again. Like their defense is for real.
Yeah, the defense is so tough.
I'm not, like, when we get into it here, I'm not playing David Montgomery this week. There ain't no way. I don't care if he just ran for 150 yards.
Ooh. So real quick before we talk Lions, go talk about the pass catchers, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, David Njoku, Harold Fannin Jr. Who are we excited about? Are we excited about any of them?
On the Lions, you said. I'm sorry.
No, on the Browns.
On the
Browns side of
Browns.
things, yeah.
Yeah, I think I gotta play Njoku. I gotta play Fannin if I got him in those leagues. Um, That's just so hard to trust Judy right now. Judy's like a flex for me. Tillman flex. I could see Flacco like having success against the secondary for them. Like their secondary's okay. It's not bad, but I don't know. It's a tough one for me. I think Flacco could have a decent day if you need a quarterback. If you just have a shittier quarterback. I think they're gonna have to throw a little bit, and Flacco could do good.
Yeah, the volume's been there. I'm not playing any of the pass catchers, to be honest. I'm kind of fading all of them. I'm playing both Buffalo Bills players over Jerry Jeudy this week. I'm playing Troy Franklin over Jerry Jeudy. I'm just kind of not really into that whole thing.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about the Lions side of things. Most of it is pretty straightforward, but you brought up your take on David Montgomery, so talk about Montgomery.
Yeah, so I just think the Browns have shut down Chase Brown week 1. They shut down Derrick Henry for 25 yards week 2, and they just shut down Josh Jacobs and ended his 10-game touchdown streak that he was on.
Yep.
I don't see it happening this week for David Montgomery. I've sat him anywhere that I have him. I think Gibbs is going to have a tough time in the ground game for sure, but he can get there with just passing. And it's hard to just sit Jahmyr Gibbs. You probably took him, top 5 overall in your redraft leagues or in your dynasty leagues. He's just your stud player. So it's hard to sit him. Amon-Ra, I think, has a decent, will have a really good game. J-Mo, he's going to be battling the Denzel Wards and the Greg Newsome, so that's probably going to be a little tougher for me. So I like Laporta and I like Amon-Ra on this one for sure.
Real quick, rapid fire. Week 4 QB start: Jackson Dart or Bryce Young?
Oh, I think I'm going to go Bryce Young, just a little bit of an easier matchup, even though Christian Gonzalez is coming back.
Yeah, I'm going.
That Chargers defense has been damn good.
That's a real tough test. Even though it's at home, it's a tough test right off the rip. So, give me Bryce Young. Oh, thank you for the sub. Ricky Pearsall or Trey Benson. He's going to make that decision on Thursday night. So Trey Benson or Ricky Pearsall.
Appreciate the sub. I think I'm going to go Pearsall just because Jawan Jennings, I don't think he has practice again this week yet. So Pearsall should be in line for double-digit targets again. So, yeah, give me Ricky P.
Yeah, I love Trey Benson. I think he was the definition of a league winner in terms of our fab pickups and redraft, but I'm still going Pearsall. Top 24 option at receiver. The volume will be there with whatever quarterback suits up for the Niners. So I like Pearsall.
Sounds like it's going to be Purdy.
And that's even better. We like what we see when it comes to that. Next game, AFC South battle. 0 wins between these two clubs. The Tennessee Titans 0-3 go to Houston to take on the 0-3 Texans. Texans, I guess, are the better brand of 0-3 because they're actually touchdown favorites at home. Over under 38.5. Yuck. Tennessee Titans plus 310. Texans. Is this like the biggest minus favorite for an 0-3 club of all time? Minus 395 for the Texans. For the sake of time, I'm just going to lump this whole game into one. Talk about any of the players that you're excited about. Who are you fading? Do you like anyone especially in this game? Talk about this entire game.
I don't like any of the quarterbacks.
Nope.
I'll play Nico. I'll play, I think Pollard and Chubb are solid RB2s.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Ridley, I was kind of scared off by Stingley going on Ridley, but Stingley hasn't practiced the first 2 days, so Ridley's kind of a little bit interesting to me. Finally might get a matchup to where he's not locked up against somebody really good, but he's also been called out by the coach a little bit that he's got to be more consistent, get his confidence up, all that kind of stuff, so I do like Ridley still this week. Like, he'd probably be a wide receiver 3 for me. Nobody really else in the Titans. Chigakonkwo did have a good game last week, so if you're desperate at tight end, I don't think that's a terrible play. Dalton Schultz has been okay in your tight end leagues if you just need 8 points. I think he's a solid guy. But that's pretty much it for me. I don't really trust Christian Kirk yet. You can't really trust any other Texans receivers. So
The targets were there for Kirk, so I mean he's one of those guys. If you
Yeah.
have him, you might as well hold on and see if it gets into anything. But it was so inefficient, and they've looked like such a train wreck on offense that you can't really get excited. At this
yeah,
point.
I kind of like the Titans with the points in this one. To be honest with you, like I just
Yeah,
think it's one of those
touchdown underdogs.
division games. It's like going to be like a 3-point game, come down to the last possession.
Couldn't you? You could close your eyes and picture like, you know, eh, Ward being like, celebrating in the middle of the field for his first NFL win, divisional rival. What happened to C.J. Stroud? Oh, blah blah blah. I could just kind of in my mind's eye see that narrative playing out. Let's talk about the next game here. The Carolina Panthers 1-2 head to Foxborough to take on the 1-2 New England Patriots. Mr. Kraft, I know you're selling 8% of your team, but if you want to gift me 8%, I'll work my ass off to keep this Patriot brand, thriving. Let's talk about the game, though. Patriots 5.5-point favorites at home, over under 42.5. Panthers getting plus 185 odds on the money line, and the Patriots minus 225. Let's start with the visiting Carolina Panthers. Hubbard, we talk about it every week. You just play Hubbard. He just keeps getting the volume. You play Hubbard. We talked about Bryce Young briefly. We're not super excited about it. Looks like we're going to get no JT Sanders this week, dealing with a high ankle sprain. What are we predicting for Tet? We were both in top 10 range last week. It kind of dudded out, but the volume was there. What do you think Tet McMillan does against this New England Patriot team?
Yeah, they didn't need him because Atlanta never put up a fight. So that was the one thing. I think their only really option. So I think he's going to be locked in for 8 to 10 targets again. He did miss the first day of practice, but he practiced today. Said he's good to go for this weekend. So I think Tet's probably a top 20 play for me again this week. I'm going to fire him up. I don't mind Bryce Young. Like, it could be there. Like, there's some quarterbacks that have had success against the Patriots this year. I am curious to see how Christian Gonzalez being back affects his defense, because I thought this defense this year was going to be, pretty solid. Like, I thought like maybe a top 12 unit this year, and they haven't shown it yet.
No, they really haven't. I want to ask you a question about the Panthers that has nothing to do with Week 4. But in our redraft leagues, especially the ones with an IR slot, if your team has that open, should people be stashing Jalen Coker right now? He's going to be 4 weeks. He's projected to miss 4 to 6 weeks, so we're thinking maybe 2 weeks at the most that he's out sideline. There really hasn't been a development of a second pass catcher. Are we picking up Jalen Coker? Are we stashing him?
Absolutely, yeah. He's better than Xavier Legette. Like, Dynasty, redraft, don't matter. I'd rather have Coker over Legette at this point. And Hunter Renfrow has just been, that slot merchant kind of guy, but he hasn't really done anything outside of that 1 week in catch-up mode. So I think Coker comes in, takes that job back immediately too. So yeah, I think that's a good call to stash Coker.
And we've seen a second pass catcher get targets. It just hasn't turned into anything. I think Coker's the type of player that can turn those 8 targets that Legette was seeing 2 weeks ago and get more than minus 2 yards. I don't think we're asking a whole lot of Jalen Coker there.
Yeah, and I think Sanders is going to miss again this week too. So
yeah, they're desperately thinking that Coker has a role. They want him back, no doubt about it. All right, let's talk about the New England Patriots. Drake May's been so much better for fantasy football than I projected. I thought it was going to be a much more conservative offense, but they're letting the kid go out there and sling it. They're letting him put up some fantasy points. He's a top 10 option this week and rest of season as I see it. How do you see Drake May? What do you like him this week? Do you like him as just being your QB1 in redraft formats?
Yeah, I think he's a QB1 for me this week, probably back end. I didn't think the Panthers' defense was very good, but obviously last week threw a shutout out. Against the Cardinals, they weren't that great in week 2. So, yeah, I'm going to fire up some Drake May this week. I like him. The running back situation, though, for the Patriots, I don't know who to start. Like, the
Whispers
Rhino
on
can't
the
hold on.
streets. It's Travion week.
Okay.
Travion week. Shh, it's Travion week. That's what's being whispered up here in New England.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna probably have to get Travion in all my lineups. Then you can't count on the Rhino because he puts the fucking ball on the carpet every time. Wide receiver wise, it is it's kind of hit or miss with these guys. Like Butte had the good week 1, but hasn't really been seen since. Stephon Diggs is like, if you just need 10 points, he's there for you. That's about it. Demario Douglas has been super disappointing this year. I've dropped him in some redraft leagues that I had him. And then Hunter Henry, Jesus, that guy had a monster game last week. You got to fire Hunter Henry up again.
Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, Juwan Johnson. Who the hell was drafting early tight ends?
Right.
When you had those guys waiting for you at the back end of your drafts. Next game, we're going to talk about the 3-0 LA Chargers head to New York to take on the 0-3 New York Giants. Chargers -6 points on the road. Over under 43.5. -285 on the money line for the Chargers. +230 for the New York Football Giants. Let's start with those Chargers. Justin Herbert has been an absolute wrecking ball in football this year. But we're going to go right back to the well. Are we going to keep playing him with confidence?
Oh yeah, the Giants defense is okay, but they can be beat for sure. I think this is easy for the Chargers. You start Herbert, you start Hampton, you start McConkey, you start Keenan Allen, you start QJ. That's it. Just start them all.
And then for our deeper redraft leagues and our dynasty leagues, Gadsden the second ran like 6 routes, had 5 targets. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was really efficient and a lot of good press for him this week. Are we making sure that he's rostered right now?
I would, yeah, for sure. I liked him a lot since coming out of college. I had him in some C2C leagues, so I've known about him for a couple years. He is just a wide receiver in a tight end's body, basically. So he's definitely somebody I'm very interested in. Like, they were playing Tucker Fisk over Tyler Conklin last week. Like, Fisk had more routes and all that. I think Disley's probably going to miss again this week. So yeah, give me some more Gadsden for sure.
Gadsden, I mean, it's only going to go up, up, up. We might get 2 dynasty gems that might not truly break out in the traditional surface sense, but we'll be very excited in Dynasty and talk about Harold Fannin Jr. and Oronde Gadsden a second. And for all you wondering out there, the Giants' pass rush has not really been that great. They're ranked 24 in pressure rate, despite all the weapons that they have on that side of the ball. So I'm not worried. I'm kind of going right back to all the Chargers.
Brian Burns has been very good this year. I think he's had a sack in every game.
Yeah, he's been pretty good, but they just haven't had. You would thought they would have a relentless attack based on the 3 pass rushers that they have.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, and on the Giants side of things, insert Jackson Dart, the first-round pick, gets his first start as the Giants quarterback. No Tyron Tracy, so Cam Scatterbo is a no-doubt play in your mind. What do you think about Cam Scatterbo? And then talking about the Jackson Dart-led offense.
Yeah, I love Scatterbo for sure. He's an RB2 for me this week, so I'm firing him up. Like, even if the Chargers run defense is pretty solid, even if he gets you like 50, 60 yards, guess what, guys? He's catching the ball too. He had 6 for 60 last week against the Chiefs too. So PPR leagues, definitely firing up Cam Scatterbo. Jackson Dart, I'm super excited, man. I don't know about you. This is a tough first matchup for him, but Dynasty leagues and all that, a bunch of my redraft leagues, I picked him up this week. Like, I got rid of Trevor Lawrence. I got rid of CJ Stroud. Like, fuck those guys. I'm done. Like, I want some Jackson Dart in my life. Kind of reminds me of, like, Herbert's rookie year. Like, nobody really wanted to pick him up either. And then he exploded and was, like, the rookie of the year or whatever. I think Dart could have a similar type of impact. Like, his rushing ability, like, he can get us 40, 50 rushing yards at any given time. Throwing up the Malik Neighbors. Wandale's had a good season. Scatterbo's, doing stuff in the receiving game. Like, the offensive line is starting to get better. Like, Andrew Thomas played, so that's a huge get. Like, I'm kind of liking the Giants, man.
Hopefully things are looking up for Giants. It's been pretty depressing for that fan base. And I'm not a Giants guy. I'm a Patriots guy, so I hate
the Giants.
But
I used to be my most hated team was the Giants. So
yeah, but I mean, I love me some Malik Neighbors. I'm still very excited about him. You brought up Wan'Dale Robinson. Are we playing him this week with the new quarterback? Tough matchup, dud last week. Are we going to play him again this week?
I think he's a solid flex play. Yeah, if you need to play him, I don't mind it.
All right, next game we're going to talk about the last on the 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time slate. The 3-0 defending champion Eagles head down to Tampa Bay to play the 3-0 Buccaneers. Buccaneers getting 3.5 points as home underdogs, 43.5 over-under, minus 198 for the Eagles, plus 164 for the Bucs. Give me just a couple sentences on the Eagles. It feels like we're just going to play what we've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play your Hurts, Barkley, Brown, and Devontae. Like, that's who you play. I'm not playing Dallas Goedert. Like, yeah, he had the touchdown last week, but that was his only catch. So I can never trust Dallas Goedert. So you're playing your main 4 Eagles, and these two teams always have wild games against each other.
Wild.
So I just remember just a bunch of crazy games between these two. So Tampa Bay side. Baker hasn't practiced yet, I don't think, but I think he's a gamer. He's going to be out there.
Yeah, and they haven't given any indication that he's going to miss.
Yeah, Mike Evans is going to miss a couple weeks though, but they are getting Godwin back. I don't know. I'm probably not going to fire Godwin up this week. I think I'm just going to kind of see how he plays first, but Emeka Buka, definitely firing him up. Like, I benched him last week. I think I talked about it on here or on the Sunday show about I was kind of iffy on his limited participate. Yeah, he shattered that. So I'm playing Buka every week.
Yeah, I got to play Buka. I'm not as high on him in terms of consensus rankings, but he's still a top 15 play for me. I'm playing him all day long, especially when you draft him. He's probably your flex. You just got to keep playing him. He's just been dirt nasty for the Buccaneers. Next game is low-key maybe my favorite on the entire Week 4 slate. 3-0 Indianapolis Colts head to La La Land to take on the 2-1 Rams. Rams giving 3.5 points as home favorites. Over under 49.5. Yes. Love seeing those numbers push 50. Plus 160 for the Colts. Minus 192 on the money line for the Rams. Let's start with Indianapolis. Daniel Jones has he's got this unit firing right now. Jonathan Taylor, smash. It seems like Michael Pittman, smash. Talk to me about the guys that we're kind of on the fence about. Tyler Warren has had iffy games. Looked like he was going to be gangbusters, but it's a bit slow. Josh Downs hasn't been good. Alec Pierce looking like he's going to miss with a concussion this week. So A.D. Mitchell, is he in play? Talk to me about the secondary fantasy guys on the Colts.
Yeah, I just don't think they've had to, smash the gas pedal the last couple weeks. Like, the Broncos game was back and forth, so they had to, smash the gas pedal a little bit. But the other weeks, they've dominated, so they didn't really need to push it. I think in this one, we're looking more at week 2 Broncos type stuff where they had to push the ball a little bit. So I'm firing up Daniel Jones as a starter, Jonathan Taylor, Pittman. I think Downs is a solid flex play. Like, this is the kind of game where they're going to have to probably use 3 receivers with him out there. I think A.D. Mitchell is a really interesting play this week. Like, no Alec Pierce. This is A.D. Mitchell's time to shine. And he was like one of their talk of the camp kind of players. So I'm really excited for him. And then Tyler Warren, I'm firing up too. Easy.
Some people might be dealing with this decision. I'm sorry if you're listening to this on Friday or Saturday, but if you were deciding between Kyler Murray and Daniel Jones, who are you playing this week?
Daniel Jones.
Me too. I have him one spot higher in the rankings. I'm playing Daniel Jones. Now let's switch over to the Rams side of things. Kyren, Puka, Devontae. Is there anything else?
I like Stafford this week. Like, if Puka's going to do good and Adams is going to do good, like, I think they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit in this one. So I like Stafford as a starter this week. Devontae Adams hasn't practiced the first 2 days, though. I don't think that's something to necessarily worry about yet.
No,
if he doesn't practice tomorrow, then I'll be worried. But
yeah.
I think he'll be fine. But yeah, you're playing these main 4 guys for me, and you're not playing any of the tight ends. Probably not playing Blake Corum unless you just got decimated by injuries. I had a couple teams where I had Connor on it. I had Najee Harris on the same team. I'm like, fuck, so I gotta find somebody to play.
The weird thing about Stafford is his 2 receivers are having phenomenal seasons. He hasn't been better than QB 14 in a given week.
Yeah,
the targets
because he doesn't run
consolidated.
The ball. Yeah.
He doesn't run, and he needs to get 4 touchdowns and massive yards. He can only throw for 220 yards, and both guys are probably going to have 110 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to eat, and he doesn't have to get crazy. Kyren does his thing. It's weird.
nobody scares me in the Colts secondary either. So this is kind of why I think this could be a shootout game, and I like Stafford.
All right, before I move on to the next game, Raphael's in the chat. What's going on, brother? Thanks for the chat. Thanks for the question. He has Chase Brown. Someone offer him Tet McMillan. So you want Tet or Chase Brown?
Yeah, redraft or dynasty, I want Tet McMillan over Chase Brown. I
In
think
dynasty, it's a smash.
Yeah, I think even in redraft too. Like Chase Brown has just been so inefficient again this year, and I wouldn't be shocked if. I mean, they have a lot of holes, but if the Bengals took a running back early next year, like, wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, and I mean, early in today's NFL could be the third round. You know, what I mean?
Right.
It could be the late. It could be their second round pick. Like they can get a guy in that sweet spot, and really he's out of it. I've really only looked at Chase Brown as a mercenary 1 year type guy. So I'm all about Tet McMillan in dynasty, but in seasonal, I'm with you. I'm still taking Tet. The only way I'm not is if you trade Chase Brown, you got to play Blake Corum. If you put yourself up, if you put yourself in Foxville, moving Brown in the the running back room, then I wouldn't. But as long as you got a decent play, I'm talking even like a Ramondre Stevenson to put him and run. I'm doing it. I'm making the move. I think Tet has just his best games are still on the horizon. Next game, we'll talk about the 2-1 Jacksonville Jaguars head to San Francisco to take on the 3-0 49ers. Jacksonville getting 3.5 points as away underdogs. Over under 46.5 is a nice number to see. Plus 150 on the money line for the Jaguars, minus 180 for the 49ers. Let's start with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, are we officially done with this man in fantasy football?
I am. He sucks, man. Like
he sucks, dude.
I'm sorry,
usually
he
sucks.
A first overall pick, that's the type of player that makes the other players around him better. I've seen it make maybe once or twice in his NFL career where he carried the team on his back and all that and played really well. Like he doesn't do it for me, man. He's like in the Kyler territory. Him and Kyler, same thing, man. Like they just don't do it for me at all. So yeah, I'm out.
I'm out too, but does that mean you're out on the pass catchers? Because it's been a shitty season for both BTJ and Travis Hunter. So what are your thoughts on the wide receivers of this team?
I mean, you got to play Brian Thomas still. Travis Hunter, I'm sitting everywhere until I actually see something. Yep. Yeah.
I'm disappointed that I used the pick. I've a number of 105s, 106s, 107s taken on Travis Hunter. We have to start having the conversation sooner rather than later that we pissed that away.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Like I did the same thing for you. I have a ton of Hunter, so I get it. Can we trade for Mac Jones again? Like, can we get him back in Jacksonville?
Honestly, though, with Liam Cohen being the new regime, Trevor Lawrence is lucky there isn't a guy like that in the roster.
Yeah,
because at what point he's shaking off Liam Cohen. It's just like I know they're 2-1, but I think that's more of a testament to Liam Cohen and his ability to lead as it is as opposed to Trevor Lawrence's play.
Yeah, I think ETN's more of an RB2 for me this week. Bayshaw Tootin, like a flex play. Like he's got it done the last 2 weeks, but on very minimal touches. I'm still gonna play Brian Thomas. I think Brenton Strange is solid, like as a tight end, top tight end 2 for me. But that's probably about it for Jacksonville.
And on the 49ers side of things, we love Christian McCaffrey. He's the best player in fantasy football has ever seen, ever, if he's healthy. Ricky Pearsall, we're firing him up as a starting wide receiver on all of our teams. But talking about Brock Purdy and then any of the other potential plays.
Yeah, McCaffrey's the Marshall Faulk of our generation. Easy.
Ugh.
So, I like Brock Purdy this week if he plays. I saw a quote from John Lynch that he looked really, really good in practice. So if he looked really good in practice, ready to go, I'm firing up Brock Purdy. McCaffrey, obviously, you're firing up. Pearsall, I'm firing up. Juwan Jennings looks like he's not going to play. That's probably it. That's probably all the guys I'm playing, even though I think they're going to win this game. I'm only playing Purdy, McCaffrey, and Pearsall, and good luck. Like, Purdy could throw another touchdown or two, but to who knows?
All right, let's hit some rapid fire in some of these games. We got about 10 minutes before kickoff, so we're going to sign off here soon. Baltimore Ravens 1-2 head to Kansas City to take on the 1-2 Chiefs. -2.5 for the Ravens on the road. Over under 48.5. We love to see it. -148 in the money line for the Ravens. Plus 124 plus money for the money line on the Chiefs at home. Unbelievable. Obviously, let's start with the Ravens side of things. Lamar, play. Henry, play. Zay, play. Are we playing Mark Andrews again this week?
Yeah, I think they're starting to get him involved finally, and I think that's part of their offense. Kind of like what they did last year. Like, once they got him rolling, he started rolling. He looks slow to me, though. Like, he looks like he looks like Travis Kelce now, to be honest with you. Like, maybe a tick faster, but he's still getting it done. I think Isaiah Likely is going to be back, but I'm not going to let that affect me too much this week. But, yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to play Lamar, Henry, Andrews, Zay Flowers. Can't really trust any of the other receivers. Hopefully you have them in best ball and they catch a touchdown.
Chiefs side of things, we're playing Pat Mahomes. We're playing Travis Kelce. Are you playing either running back?
I've had to play like Pacheco in a couple of lineups because I lost Connor or whoever to some injury. So just if I have to, I have to. Like it's one of those types.
Yeah, I mean, here's some of the names I'm playing over Pacheco this week. Nick Chubb, I'm playing him over him. Trey Benson, if you're making the decision on Thursday night. And also, I'm playing a Commanders running back, whether it be Chris Rodriguez or Bill, whoever's healthy, I'm going to play one of those guys.
I think if Bill misses, I would play McNichols over him. Yep. Would you play R.J. Harvey over him?
That's such a great name to bring up because I have him back-to-back in my rankings, and I think I'm making the switch here live on air. Then I'm going to go with Harvey because at least Harvey's been disappointing because he hasn't been unleashed. Isaiah Pacheco's been disappointing, and he's been fully unleashed. So
right.
I'm going to go with the guy with some possibilities of upside. So I'm going to go Harvey slightly there.
Okay.
And then talk to me about the pass catchers here. Looks like Xavier Worthy will be back. Are we playing him, and does that take out Hollywood Brown altogether?
Yeah, this one's interesting. Like, I kind of would think he would take out Tyquan Thornton, but Tyquan Thornton's been playing so good.
Yeah.
I've had to put Worthy into a few spots just because of injuries and stuff, and, like, I didn't really trust my other options, so I've thrown him into some, and I have him sitting in a bunch. I would say for a redraft for me this year, like, Worthy is probably one of my most owned players. He fell to me every single time, and I just couldn't pass on him, so... I'm hoping he gets going. He gets going this week. I think he's like a 50-50 play for me. Like maybe check back on Sunday on the Start Sit show with us, and you get a better answer there.
This next game is maybe the most excited I've ever been for a pair of 1-2 football clubs. But the 1-2 Bears head to Vegas to take on the 1-2 Raiders indoors. Bears getting 1.5 on the road, over under 47.5. Love to see it. -105 on the money line for the Bears, -115 for the Raiders at home. Let's start with the Bears. Is it just a smoke them if you got them situation with the Bears?
I think it's smoke them if you got them for this whole game. I mean, I think this is one of the shootout games of the week. I'm hoping so. I'm gonna play Caleb, Swift. Probably have to play him as an RB2. Like, he's just getting so much volume. DJ Moore, Rome, playing those guys. Sounds like Loveland's going to miss, so Komet maybe if you're desperate for a tight end.
Which is hard to do when you had Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, and Juwan Johnson just sit in your face wherever at the end of the draft.
I think if you're missing some wide receivers and you got to throw a Burden in there, I don't hate it. Like, he started getting more involved. I think he's going to get more and more snaps as we go on here. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking on the Bears.
We need a gift from the fantasy gods. We need DJ Moore traded to a great situation where DJ Moore could be uplifted and then Luther Burden can be elevated, where two fantasy assets are birthed in the middle of the season. That's what we need for fantasy football. And I do agree. I think it's the same thing. Smoke him if you got him on the Raider side. You're playing Ginty. I think Geno Smith's one of the best streaming options on the week. I have him as a top 13 play, so he's just outside of the QB1 range for me. Ginty could be his breakout game. Brock Bowers, I'm just never sitting a tight end that talented that I took that early. And then Jacoby Myers has been low-key one of the best fantasy players under the radar over the last calendar year. So I'm all about Jacoby Myers in this game too.
Yeah, and I had a bunch of leagues where I had Jaden and Gino was my backup last week. Just threw Gino in, and it fucking was beautiful for like 30+ points. I mean, it wasn't ugly or it wasn't pretty for the Raiders, but 3 touchdowns, 289 yards, no picks. Like Gino balled, man. So, and this Bears secondary is trash. So yeah, firing up Gino. Genty, you got to play him. You drafted him that high, you got to play him. Jacoby, I'm firing up. I think Trey Tucker. I threw him into a couple lineups.
If you believe the shootout, you gotta get those guys in. Yep.
Like I put in Trey Tucker over Troy Franklin. Like I like Troy Franklin this week too, but I'm just gonna mix it up. I'm gonna throw some Tucker into my lineups, but yeah, we'll see.
All right, this next game here, the Green Bay Packers, they're 2-1. They head to Jerry's World to take on the 1-2 Cowboys. Packers touchdown favorites on the road. Over under 47.5 is pretty nice. Minus 355 for the Packers, plus 280 for the Cowboys. Jordan Love against the Cowboys, obviously got to be a top 10 play, so you're playing him. Josh Jacobs, you're never sitting him. Tucker Kraft is an awesome play against this sieve of a defense that is the Dallas Cowboys. Is this the game? Is this the last chance to buy Matthew Golden?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's starting to get going here. Sometimes it takes a players a month or 5 games or whatever to get going, and I think they're going to start getting him going. I don't mind Romeo Dobbs. I don't mind Dontavian Wicks either. So yeah, I like a lot of these Packers this week.
Yeah, I mean the Cowboys have been the single easiest matchup for pass catchers, whether they're tight end, wide receivers. It don't matter. It's always been good when you play in the boys in 2025.
Is Travion Diggs the most overrated, overpaid player in the league?
Oh, I mean, there may be some Deshaun Watson, but it's different reasons.
Well, yeah.
Different reasons. But Diggs is, I mean, yeah, he has.
I mean, he had all those interceptions that one year, and that's what he got paid on, and he has been absolutely dog shit ever since.
And it's interesting when you look back over those teams, there was something about that system because always the CB2 on the team was the kind of a ball hawk. Travion Diggs was the ball hawk when Stephon Gilmore was there, and then Deron Bland was the ball hawk when Travion Diggs was the cornerback one. So there's something about the system that led the second cornerback on the team to get a lot of picks, cash the fuck in, and kind of disappeared. So I'm playing all the Packers for that reason. Now, talk to me about the Cowboys. No CeeDee Lamb. How do you see this offense looking with no Lamb?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Michael Parsons coming back. He's going for 2-3 sacks easy. I think he's going to wreck this team. I'm playing Dak in a few spots. He's still been pretty efficient minus all the stuff. But, Jake Ferguson, I think he's an auto play this week. He got 13 targets last week. Mm-hmm. I think they got to get George Pickens going some more. He's finally playing pretty good. I don't mind Jalen Tolbert as a flex play or Kevontae Turpin as a flex play. So I kind of like this game to be maybe a little bit more high scoring.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas thinks so. 47.5 over under is pretty damn good. So I think this could be a nice, friendly game for us fantasy gamers on Sunday Night Football. We got 2 games on Monday night, but before we get into that real quick, should we send 2 thirds plus T. Higgins for CMC and best ball PPR?
100%. Yep.
Yeah, the pick capital is so low that I'm absolutely firing this up. Even if CMC gets hurt, I don't think you're going to ruin your 3-year outlook.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as a first and 2/3 easy. I'll send that all day.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Definitely make that happen. All right, first game on Monday Night Football. A pair of 0-3 teams face off, both from the AFC East. The 0-3 Jets go to Miami to take on the 0-3 Dolphins. Jets getting 2.5 points as road underdogs, over under 45.5, plus 130 for the Jets and minus 155 for the Dolphins. Just give me a quick run through for this whole game.
Yeah, I like Justin Fields in this one. Sounds like he practiced in full today. Hasn't cleared the protocol yet, but if he practiced in full, he should be good to go for Monday. Mm-hmm. Garrett Wilson I'm playing. Breece Hall's been disappointing, but I think you got to play him. I kind of like Braylon Allen as a sneaky little flex play this week. This is probably one of their easier matchups they've had so far, and Braylon Allen started to get used a little bit more again last week. So I kind of like him a little bit. That's probably it on the Jets side, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Dolphins side, I mean, I think this could be a little bit more higher scoring game, so I don't mind Tua if you got to play him. A-Chain you're playing Tyreek Hill. Waddle got there last week on a touchdown. If you expect this to be a little high-scoring game, I think Waddle's an okay play. And that's probably it for me.
Yeah, I'm actually playing Tua over a couple of names, surprisingly. I'm playing him over Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, definitely playing him over C.J. Stroud. I'm going with Tua because at least
Yeah, I
the
think that's
weaponry
fair.
can get you 3 touchdowns
Yep.
in the air with those guys. And I like the pass catches, I like the weapons there. All right, last game on the Week 4 slate. Let's talk about it. 2-1 Cincinnati Bengals head to Mile High Stadium to take on the 1-2 Broncos. Broncos, despite the record, are touchdown and a half favorites at home. Over under 44.5. Not great. Bengals plus 330 on the money line. Broncos minus 425. Let's start with the Bengals side of things. Joe Burrow's not coming through that door anytime soon. We talked about Chase Brown already, so talk to me about T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, tough matchup. Like, I would expect Surtain is going to be all over Jamar Chase all game long. So that kind of makes me like T. Higgins a little bit more, even though the other corners are still solid. I think you can't sit Chase, obviously, but yeah, I still like T. Higgins this week. Chase Brown's tough to trust, but I think he's an RB2. I think you got to play him. Hopefully they get him the ball more, and it's not a complete blowout like last week. Browning is probably in that quarterback tiers that you were just mentioning, like the Darnolds, Lawrence, Kylers, those guys that you were just talking about. I think he's like in that range. I don't hate him, but probably would prefer somebody else. And Denver side, I think this is a get-right game, man. Like, I think Bo Nix, firing him up. Sutton, I'm firing up. I like Troy Franklin this week. J.K. Dobbins. R.J. Harvey, if you have to. I don't mind it. This could be maybe his get-right game. Don't know if Evan Ingram's going to play yet, though.
I kind of have liked how things have played out without Evan Ingram in the fold, so
Yeah.
go ahead and keep taking some time off because I like seeing the Cortland Sutton usage. Franklin disappeared after a good week 2, but I don't think he's going away fully, and Marvin Mims just really hasn't fired.
That's a good one you brought up, Marvin Mims. I'm playing him in some lineups this week. Bo Nix and him missed on like 2 or 3 deep shots last week, and they were like inches away from connecting. Like, he's going for him deep. I think, I think I might put some money on that this week for Marvin Mims anytime touchdown this week, and maybe I'll even do the player prop like over 100 yards.
I love that call. If you can remember 2024 season, there was a game where he went off on Monday Night Football. I believe it was the Browns in like week 13 or 12, where he had over 100, had 3 touchdowns. There was only like 5 catches or something. He went off. But it was Monday Night Football, so I like that call. I think it's a bold call. It's a fun call. It was a great episode also, Eric. So that's it. That's the week 4 slate of the walkthrough. Every single game. Enjoy. I hope you get all the wins in the world. Eric, tell the people listening where they can find you.
Yeah, appreciate it, Matty. Always fun doing this with you. At Eric Vanek NFL on X and at America's Game Pod. Follow me there on X as well. And join us on Sunday for the Start Sit Show. Me and Matty and T-Rock. And not sure who our 4th is going to be yet, but we'll be on there on Sunday. So join us at noon Eastern live right here on this channel.
You got to be there. It's a ton of fun. We get to every single one of you guys' questions, and we really just make sure that you're ready to go get those wins in week 4. And people, make sure you're heading to SouthHarmonFF.com. Get the warp tool, people. It is about to get in the most important part of the regular season is these next few weeks when you can utilize the warp tool and really get a leg up against all the losers in your league. So head to SouthHarmonFF.com, get that warp tool. Make sure you're subscribed to the Player Profile Fantasy channel. I mean the South Harmon channel here. Make sure you like the video. In the comments, who are some of your favorite plays in week 4? And make sure you follow me on X as well. I'm at Matty Kiwoom. We're gonna talk through every single one of these games, through every single one of these weeks, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Let's get Matty in New Jersey.
Yeah. Oh, good call.